9 harsh truths about rushing into a relationship for fear of being alone. Have you ever felt really empty on a Friday night, while everyone else seems to be out on dates, sharing pictures about anniversaries, or showing off their love online? That lonely feeling can slowly creep in, quiet but strong, like a heavy cloud. It is in those moments that many people rush into relationships, not out of love, but out of fear. Fear of being alone, fear of growing old without someone, fear of missing out, fear that maybe, just maybe, no one better will come along. But here's the hard truth. When you jump into a relationship just to escape loneliness, you may end up even lonelier than before. Why? Because not every relationship brings connection, and not every partner brings peace. In this video, we will walk through 9 things that often happen when you rush into a relationship just because you are afraid of being alone. We will explore them in depth, not to judge, but to help you reflect, learn, and heal. So grab a cup of tea, find a quiet spot, and let's talk heart to heart. 1. You settle for less than you deserve. When loneliness knocks loudly, it's easy to let down your standards. You tell yourself, well, maybe I'm asking for too much. Or you start ignoring things that used to be deal breakers, like disrespect, dishonesty, or emotional unavailability. Suddenly, red flags start looking like red roses. You stay, even when your heart whispers, this doesn't feel right. The danger here is that you might end up in a relationship where your needs are not met, where your value is not seen, and where your heart slowly begins to shrink just to keep the peace. You deserve love that lifts you, not one that leaves you questioning your worth. 2. You attract the wrong partner. Desperation gives off a scent. It's something people can sense, even if you don't say it out loud. And unfortunately, not everyone who sees that vulnerability has good intentions. Some people are drawn to those who seem easy to control or manipulate. Others are simply not ready for love themselves, but get into relationships because they sense someone else needs them too badly to say no. When you are rooted in fear, your ability to judge character gets unclear. You ignore instincts, excuse bad behavior, and sometimes even try to fix someone who is not willing to grow. It is not about blaming yourself, but about realizing that when you love yourself fully, you naturally attract better. 3. You lose sight of yourself. Trying to force a connection quickly can make you forget who you are. Maybe you stop doing the things you love. Maybe you change your opinions to avoid conflict. Maybe you silence your voice so the other person won't leave. Little by little, you disappear. You become a version of yourself that fits them, but no longer fits you. And later, when the relationship starts to crack, you may look in the mirror and wonder, where did I go? Healthy love should make you more of yourself, not less. 4. You skip important compatibility checks. When you move too fast, you skip over essential questions. Do we share similar values? Do we want the same future? Can we talk through conflict in a healthy way? Compatibility is not just about attraction or chemistry. It's about emotional alignment, spiritual harmony, and shared visions. Rushing love means you don't give yourself time to see someone clearly. And by the time you do, you might already be too emotionally invested to walk away easily. 5. You become emotionally dependent. When you are scared of being alone, it's easy to become overly dependent on your partner for comfort, confidence, or even identity. You start to rely on them to make you feel good about yourself. Their attention becomes your oxygen. Their presence becomes your peace. And the moment they pull away, just a little, you feel like your whole world is falling apart. That is not love. That is emotional survival. Real love is 2 whole people choosing each other, not one person leaning entirely on the other to stay upright. 6. You move too fast physically or emotionally. Sometimes, we try to speed up intimacy because we think it will glue the relationship together. You dive headfirst into deep emotional talks, constant texting, or physical closeness, hoping to create connection. But rushing intimacy can build a false sense of closeness, one that feels real in the moment, but lacks the depth of real trust, shared values, and tested character. Without those things, that intense beginning often fizzles out just as quickly as it started. 7. You ignore red flags. The fear of being alone can be so loud that it drowns out your inner alarm bells. You overlook the signs, the rude comments, the temper, the emotional unavailability, the lack of respect. You convince yourself they will change, that it is not that bad. That being with someone is better than being with no one. But ignoring red flags today only guarantees heartbreak tomorrow. It takes courage to walk away, but it takes more pain to stay in something you know deep down is hurting you. 8. You increase the risk of heartbreak. Relationships that are rushed often don't have a strong foundation. They are built on emotions instead of trust, timing instead of understanding. So when challenges come, as they always do, the relationship can crack quickly. The breakup feels unbearable because you poured everything into it too soon, before you even knew if it was solid. You are left not just grieving the person, but questioning yourself. How did I not see this coming? Why do I always end up hurt? But it's not just about the pain. It is about learning to slow down, to build better, and to choose with clarity, not fear. 9. You delay personal growth. Your single season is not a curse. It is an opportunity. It is the time to heal from past wounds, discover what you love, set boundaries, build confidence, understand your worth. When you rush into a relationship to avoid being alone, you skip this powerful phase. You use romance as a distraction instead of embracing the deeper journey of self-love. But the truth is, the more you grow as a person, the better your relationships will be. You will attract people who match your healing, not your hurting. Finally, being alone is not the enemy, but fear is. If there is one thing I want you to take from this, it's this. Being alone does not mean you are unlovable. It does not mean you are behind. It does not mean you are destined to be lonely forever. In fact, being alone can be the very season where you bloom the most. It's where you learn to enjoy your own company. It's where you gain the wisdom and strength to wait for the right love, not just any love. So, if you are single right now, breathe. Don't rush. Don't panic. Don't settle. The love you deserve is worth waiting for. But more importantly, you are worth loving fully, even when it's just you and your own heartbeat in the room. Want to reflect more deeply? Ask yourself, am I seeking love from a place of fear or fullness? What have I learned from my past rushed relationships? What kind of love do I truly want? And how can I become the kind of person who attracts that? Your journey is not about avoiding loneliness. It is about becoming someone so rooted in love, peace, and purpose that anyone who comes into your life is a beautiful addition, not a desperate necessity. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more.